Emily had always adored surprises. She believed that the smallest gestures held the true magic of a relationship. This time, the occasion was particularly special, the 10th anniversary of her marriage to Jake. She had spent weeks planning, carefully arranging every detail. She ordered dinner from their favorite restaurant, decorated their home with soft candlelight, and placed framed photos that captured their journey together. That evening, she left work early, eager to set everything in motion. But as soon as she stepped inside the house, something fell off. A light was on in the living room. Odd, considering Jake usually worked late. A smile touched Emily's lips. Maybe he had decided to surprise her instead. Excited by the thought, she stepped into the room. But the moment her eyes landed on the scene before her, she froze. Sitting on the couch was a woman she had never seen before, young, attractive, and dressed in a way that left little to the imagination. Emily's initial excitement quickly turned into confusion. A thick silence filled the room as the woman's subtle smile faded upon noticing her. "Who are you?" Emily's voice wavered, but she forced herself to stay composed. The woman hesitated briefly before answering. "I'm Katie. Jake said he'd be alone tonight. You didn't know." It felt as though the floor had been ripped from beneath her. Before she could gather her thoughts, the sound of the front door opening echoed through the house. Jake had arrived. The moment he saw Emily standing there, his face turned ghostly pale. He opened his mouth to speak, but before he could, she cut him off. "Explain this to me, Jake. Who is she, and why is she in our house?" He hesitated, his eyes darting between Emily and Katie, as if searching for an escape. But there was none. He sighed and finally spoke. "It's not what it looks like," he said hurriedly. "Katie is a colleague. We were just talking. I'll explain." "Talking?" Emily's voice trembled before breaking into a furious scream. "In our home? I spent an entire month preparing a surprise for you, and this is what you do? You bring her here?" Katie quickly stood up, clearly uncomfortable. "Maybe I should go," she muttered. "Yes, you should," Emily snapped, not even sparing her another glance. Without hesitation, Katie hurried out the door. Jake remained standing, his shoulders slumped, his head lowered. "It doesn't mean anything," he finally whispered. "I've just been confused. Things have been hard between us lately." Emily let out a bitter laugh, shaking her head. "And that's your excuse? To destroy everything we built?" Without waiting for a response, she turned and walked toward the bedroom, slamming the door shut behind her. Tears streamed down her face, but deep down she knew some things could never be undone. Emily needed time to figure out her next step. The following morning, she woke up early, her mind still clouded with confusion and pain. Grabbing her phone, she dialed her best friend, Claire. "He brought her to our house, Claire," Emily sobbed. "I don't know how to move forward from this." Claire listened patiently before responding. "Emily, you deserve to know the truth. If he betrayed you, you need to make a decision. But first, talk to him. Have an honest conversation." Taking a deep breath, Emily realized Claire was right. That night, she sat across from Jake, her hands trembling slightly. "I need the truth," she said firmly. "I deserve to know what's really going on." Jake remained silent for a long time, avoiding her gaze. Finally, he spoke. "I won't lie to you, Emily. Our relationship has felt heavy on me for a while. Work stress, barely any time together, all build up, and while nothing serious happened with Katie, I see now how far I let things go." His voice broke slightly as he looked at her. "I love you, Emily. I've been a fool. But please, give me a chance to fix this." Emily felt torn, caught between her pain and the love she still had for the man sitting before her. She wasn't ready to make a decision. Needing space, she packed a bag and stayed with Claire for a few weeks. During that time, Jake made every effort to prove his sincerity. He signed up for therapy, wrote letters expressing his emotions, and even asked her to attend marriage counseling with him. But the most unexpected turning point came in the form of a letter from Katie. In it, she apologized and explained that she hadn't realized how serious Emily and Jake's relationship was. Her words made Emily see the truth. Katie wasn't the cause of their problems, only a symptom of deeper issues in their marriage. 3 months later, Emily returned home. As she approached the house, she saw Jake standing on the doorstep, holding a box filled with their wedding photos. "I don't want to lose this," he said softly. "You're my family, my world. I'll do whatever it takes to start over." There was something raw and sincere in his voice. Emily hesitated, then nodded. "I'm willing to try," she said, "but only if we're completely honest with each other. We have to work through our problems together." The road to healing wasn't easy, but they both fought for their marriage. Emily came to understand that love wasn't just about joy. It was also about effort, commitment, and choosing each other even in difficult times. And as she looked into Jake's eyes, she felt something she hadn't in a long time, the spark that had once connected them. Their story wasn't over yet. But this time, Emily knew that trust was the most precious thing in the world, and she would never take it for granted again.